Hi, everyone. Earlfnet here with another episode of the Cryptopolitan podcast. And I'm going to try to pronounce your name. It's Gianluca?
That's perfectly pronounced.
Gianluca. Well, fantastic. As our guest today. How are you, sir?
Pretty well today.
Pretty well today. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's good. Well, welcome to the show.
My
Why don't
pleasure.
we just dive right in? Tell us. So let's start off with the name of your project and what does it do? But let's keep it simple so like even the beginner viewers can pay attention.
Yeah, Circular Protocol is a layer one blockchain, and it's designed for specifically for healthcare applications.
Hmm.
So by background, I am a faculty at Harvard Medical School, and I am a director of a lab at the Master General Brigham. So I've been working in healthcare all my life. And during COVID time, I just realized that if I wanted to use a blockchain for healthcare, there was no blockchain that was compliant with regulation for healthcare.
Hmm.
So I decided to build one. Yeah, today there are a lot of DeFi or healthcare related projects in Web3, but they will find in the hard way that they cannot use blockchains that don't have certain requirements.
Right.
So we built one, and obviously we do all the other things that also the other blockchains do. So we can mint tokens, we can create NFTs and blah, blah, blah. But if you build healthcare applications, offers you the possibility to be compliant by design. So you know that your application is going to be fine. Yeah.
That's really cool. So, they say that necessity is the mother of invention. So it didn't exist, so you had to build it, right?
That's exactly correct. It was not available a blockchain with certain type of features. And then I'm an expert in high performance computing. So when I looked at the other blockchains, I thought that there was stuff that could be improved. And
Mhm.
I also built other components. For example, we are a blockchain that not only does data certification like all the others, but we can also do process certification. That is something very important in every decision-making process. For example, the use of AI. So to certify all the different stage of a workflow. Like for example, for the AI, when something goes wrong, what is the problem? Is
Mhm.
the prompt? Is the code of the LLM? Is the data that was used for the training? Is the how the data was collected? Is an error? So you need what is called compartmentalization of the liability,
Mhm.
because that allows you to identify what is behind an error
Well,
and
yeah, yeah.
see.
Part of diagnosing the error is being able to cover back your track and see where did it go wrong, right?
Yeah, no, also because if you want to use this for healthcare, for example, you want to find out if the error was intentional
Yeah.
or not, or was
True.
part of that, that percentage that, is going to go, you're going to have some errors. So it's very important if something happened, in case you go to trial, to demonstrate the intent of who built that AI.
That
You
makes
know,
absolute sense. So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm looking in other news and like Walmart, for example, is using, blockchain to be able to track everything that comes from the farm to your table. So you can see which part of the farm was infected, if part of it got like a virus or a bacterial infection or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, that makes absolute sense. Being able to track back where it came from is very key.
I mean, if you think about right now, socials are full of conspiracy theories, right? So
Right.
there is a problem, someone gets hurt when there is a vaccine, and everybody's blaming on the pharmaceutical company. From one end, you want to protect, obviously, the guy that gets the vaccine and make sure
Mhm.
that the vaccine was made in the right way. And from the other, you want to protect also the company that made the vaccine and demonstrate if there was a malicious intent or not. Because there are even
Right.
accidents where, unfortunately, there's no liability, no real, intent to hurt anybody. It's just a
Right.
way, an instrument to make things more streamlined and more clear, especially when you want to use a powerful technology like AI.
You bet. And because of the multi-touch facility, from who created it to the guy who dispenses it, there's a lot of hands that changes places. So it's
And
important
uh,
for that piece of the blockchain to make sense.
I mean, right now that everybody's talking about AI, this becomes much more important because if you really want to take advantage of the AI, the full potential of the AI, you need to have in place a framework like this. Otherwise, the regulator sooner or later will get to the same conclusion, and we'll have to. So it's better if you give them the instruments before they block.
Right. It's better if you keep it, transparent and clear and all the way through, right? So this is part of the regulatory compliance that you guys fulfill with your tool set, right? I mean, that's part of the issue. Like if there's a breakdown in any of the information from point A to point B, at least you have every step of the way, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And the first proof for us of the fact that this was not like a delusional thing. When you're a founder, you have an idea, you build your idea, even if you're an expert in your field, but you still want to make sure that you have some validation from third parties, right? The first validation came exactly from the investors. Indeed, the first investors in our project are all coming from healthcare regulation. So that was like the first way to understand that was really a need.
That's a really good sign. If the first investors are from the regulatory body themselves, they also acknowledge the fact that this is a needed technology, right?
Not only from 2025, it seems like the new guidelines for the good clinical practice makes them also mandatory. So you need to have in place a certification system for the data that you are collecting. If you're an hospital or if you somehow have to work with the clinical data.
More importantly, the audit trail, so you can check every step along the way. But that's really cool from a compliance standpoint. So what you were saying that you were looking for this tool, it didn't exist, so you built it. What if you could sum it down into two or three major points? What are the two or three major points do you think this solves for the general, populace, for
Sure.
specifically the medical space?
I mean, I tell you a couple of points that are important in general. And then specifically also for the medical space. And then I'll tell you a third one that is instead very targeted for medical space. The first thing is that if you are want to use really a blockchain for healthcare applications, they're going to ask you to have a blockchain that is private, cannot be public. Even if you're not posting on the blockchain sensitive data, even if you're simply posting just an hash of the record, you still cannot use a public chain. And what happens is that if you get a private chain from all the other providers, what you get is a centralized private chain.
Right.
And then you lose the decentralization. Circular is a multi-chain network, which means in the same network, you can have multiple instances of blockchain. So when you get your private chain, you inherit the decentralization of that initial network. So you don't start from a centralized blockchain and you have to provision the other nodes. And you don't have the expenses of the nodes. The other thing is that now if you have multiple chains, they can also be used as a single separate chains, or they can also be used as parallel chains where you can mint blocks in the parallel. But then there is another feature that is important for healthcare, but also for other industry, which is the jurisdictionalities. So we have two types of nodes. We have simple nodes and certified nodes. Simple nodes are nodes that anyone can run. And then there are certified nodes, which are subject to a KYC, and there is a verification of where the node is physically.
That makes sense.
So this allows me to tell to, I don't know, an institution, an healthcare institution, United States, for example, hey, your data is running on a blockchain, which is decentralized, but all the nodes are within United States, for example, or within a certain state. Obviously, we need to have them. But you can segment then the main network and extract only a piece of the network that is offering you the jurisdictionality. And the third is obviously what I was mentioning before, which was the process certification, which is very important for healthcare, for calculation of rates, for calculations, for when you do analysis of data and then you want to get a decision based on that. So that was like a missing part, and that is one of the things that makes us different from the other layer ones. Plus is, I would say, decently fast.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I mean, that solves a lot of different places. I used to be in the industry as well for building software, and like you said, all the things that you just covered are things that people would complain about when building the software for the medical industry. So you're solving real life problems, which is fantastic. I'm really enjoying listening to kind of the the evolutionary step of how, how far blockchains come, right? I mean, everybody was, in the beginning, what the hell do we use this for? And they were using like, pictures of cats on the internet, and now you're solving medical problem, right? So it's a big shift.
Yeah, and considering that this is a very young project, I started building these on the Blue Board, obviously. This was like middle 2022. I started really coding the first version in February 2023. And the company is now like 1 year old, and we are now starting an integration in a network of 8,000 pharmacies, the first 9 clinics. And we are starting a pilot with one of the top European hospitals. We
That's
created
fantastic.
software for the certification of clinical trials, which is already built and validated. And now we're starting the licensing from January. And obviously we did also the listings of our token and all the other,
all the traditional steps you need to take.
all the traditional stuff. We don't have anything less. That is the message.
Fantastic. Well, that's I mean, you're really changing the world with the tech that you're building. Fantastic. So thank you for the work you're doing. What do you do when you're not saving the world? What do you do when you're not building all this medical stuff? I mean, you have to have a life outside of this as well, right?
Well, first of all, I have a family also, and I have my children, 2 little brats, 2 boys that take a lot of my time.
Oh boy.
After that, I am a builder. I build stuff, and I literally, I don't know, electronics, software, robotics. I'm actually an expert in robotics with a PhD in robotics, and I play music. I love piano. I love guitars.
Oh, fantastic. We have a modern day Renaissance man. That's fantastic. So you build robots and you play piano. That's beautiful.
I don't know. I have tried to keep myself busy.
What kind of robots do you build?
I actually built surgical robots.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I've been pretty well known in the industry because I was one of the first one adopting AI for creating gradually autonomous surgical robotic systems.
So can the robot pass the grape test already or no?
Not yet, but the intent was to create a platform to collect the data and retrain the robot, try to make it better and better. Yeah,
fantastic. And then from the piano side, what kind of music do you play?
I like different type of music. So a little bit of classical, a little bit of blues. I'm not like piano is like a pretty recent thing. It's just like past 7 years. Guitar since I was like a teenager.
Oh, fantastic.
So with the guitar fusion, that's the kind of music I like to play.
Beautiful. Well, I'm going the other way. I'm a pianist first, and I want to go learn guitar next. So there you go.
I've been also building guitars, to be honest.
Oh, you build the piano too?
No, the piano. Guitar? The guitars, yes. I also build guitars.
Cool. Yeah. That's beautiful. I love how you put the build and the art. So you got the science and the art mixed together, right?
Just a creative person. I've been an academic for most of my life, so that gives you some time to explore. Let's say like this.
Absolutely, that's a good balance, though. You got the you got the blockchain side, you got the business side, you got the art side, you got the engineering side. That's pretty cool. All of it put together makes a nice full life. Plus, like you said, 2 little boys. It's a full life.
I tried always to build stuff that could impact more people. And trying to make my life not something about myself. So, the hobbies are for myself, but everything I try to do, I hope can be something that other people can benefit from. And in the healthcare has been always, even the surgical robotics was because I was looking at the idea was to create a surgical robot that could go anywhere around the world, even in poorer countries or where there are not big hospitals or the top surgeon could not go there, so you could have the robot performing certain type of things. So I've been always trying to, in the healthcare industry in general, to do stuff that could benefit anyone and could equalize the quality of care that we could provide. The blockchain, it's just another attempt to do the same thing. This time it's going pretty well, I'd say, because equalize in a different way. And right now I'm referring to the fact that you can protect the patient, you can protect the company, you can make sure that everybody feels that they can sleep well at night.
That's a fantastic thing. Like you said, you're serving both sides of the equation, and you're building it right, which is really cool. And it doesn't exist, so you're making it real because it has to be real.
It touches all of us. I mean, it's not that sexy, you know, if you want to talk about Web3 and crypto, you know, it's all the meme coins and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but the fundamental structure of what you're building is a necessity for the world, which is really cool.
So that was the hard choice. I had to find a way to make it fun, but still, we know it's not that sexy to sell to the.
It's not that sexy,
new
but
generations.
compliance is a beautiful thing, and transparency through compliance is a beautiful thing. So, really cool work. Well, let's talk about the community. Let's grow the community. So, where do your people congregate? Is it mostly on Telegram? Is it mostly on Discord? Where do your people talk? Where does
I
your
would say
community
that
live?
the place where people talk is definitely Telegram and Discord.
Telegram and Discord. Okay. And so what do we want here? We want to grow the community. We want to get this out there. The reason why you joined the podcast is to get more exposure. Who should we invite to the community, and where should we send them?
Well, you know, X, Discord, and Telegram. You can access all of them through the website. On X, we usually run our AMAs, and instead we have a pretty, you know, a pretty alive, a pretty fun community on Discord and on Telegram. Right now, we're not that big. I'd say we are like 34,000 on both Telegram and Discord, about 80,000 on X. We're growing.
That's a good size. That's still a good size community. So that's fantastic. How do they find you? What's the website domain?
It's a circularlabs.io. So circularlabs.io, one single word. And our token is on several exchanges. You can find it on CoinMarketCap, which is CIRX, CIRX. And yeah, if you are interested in that aspect, we are about to deploy a couple of new systems. We are about to deploy a browser extension wallet. We already have a browser wallet, and then we are gonna deploy very soon NFT marketplace and token launchpad. So all this stuff is coming in this beginning of this year.
That's amazing. Well, good luck with the project. Good luck with growing the community. Guys, if you're interested to find out more, definitely visit the website. And Gianluca, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate your time, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Very, very cool topic, very cool solution. And yeah, so much good luck with the project.
Thank you.